the show, Stephanie. How are you, girl?
I'm great. How are you, April?
Oh, I am fabulous, man. You like come to the show with your kick butt microphone as a voice actor, and it's just like, wow. I was like, dude, you sound crisp.
Yes, that's awesome. Thanks to my partner in crime, Dan Bradford. He's my technical wizard best friend.
That is so awesome. Thank you, Dan, for being in the house and helping out. Yes. I know he's been doing a lot. And I want to remind everybody tonight during the show, please be sure to ping us your questions there in the comments, and I will be watching for them throughout the show. And like I said at the top, we actually don't have a hard stop this evening, so we're going to chill out here with Stephanie. So any questions you guys might have, be sure to put them into the comments. If I start to get just wore out, I'm going to make her hang up with me. But we'll hang out here for a little bit and see how it goes. So Stephanie, girl, how are you doing in this whole pandemic thing anyway?
You know, I put makeup on. I'm like, I don't even know why I wear lipstick, but I'm like, I can wear lipstick. I'm going to be like, I don't know. Not that I'm really into that right now, but I mean, I've been dealing with it pretty well, but I miss getting dressed up and, getting out there and singing and performing live, getting in the studio, recording, creating. I miss it.
Yeah, I miss it too. It's so funny that you said that about the lipstick. I had a doctor's appointment today, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going out, so I'm gonna put makeup on, and I had the lipstick in my hand, and I was like, oh, what am I doing with this? I'm gonna have a mask on the whole time.
I feel bad for like cosmetic companies. I mean, their lipstick sales have got to just been crashed and burned over the past year. Why?
Yeah, and the other one that's probably crashed and burned is breath mints. Because you don't need breath mints right now because you're in a mask.
Unless you just want the flavor in your mouth, I guess that's a good point.
I used to buy new breath mints like every week, and I haven't bought them in forever.
Yeah, you don't really need them.
No.
And it's like, can you pull it down and have to take your little drink at the restaurant? And it's like, I don't know.
What's the
very
point?
Odd. It's crazy times right now, right?
Truly.
I know I need my chapstick though. That's never gonna change.
Nothing's gonna change that.
The winter weather, my lips are always so chapped, and then using my voice with my mouth a lot. I mean, I'm constantly aware of that. I'm like totally obsessed with like lozenges right now. I'm into all these different lozenges and like different
you should get like an endorsement, man. Get like a tea and a lozenge endorsement, since your voice is your gig, man.
Like you. I mean, you're doing it. You're doing it.
Why not?
You got your platform, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, hey, the big reason I wanted to have you on tonight, Stephanie, is because I love your story. I love how you've gone with your career, and just meeting you as a singer in a band, and then you being a voice actress too. I'm just like, whoa. And by the way, did they ever say voice actress, or is it always voice actor? Because I always only see voice actor.
I think that the professional term is voice actor. I mean, I like using voice actress, but I think the proper word, like if you really want to get grammatically correct and all that is voice actor, being male or female.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know that whenever I had my banner made by the awesome Stephen Haas,
oh my gosh, plug.
He's so great. He makes banners and all this graphic stuff. He made like this awesome like collage of all my characters.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you can see that.
No, yeah, I can see it. Looks great.
Backwards.
Yeah, that's cool.
But anyway, he's awesome.
Yeah.
So whenever he made my banner for me, which I bring with me to my in-person convention, fan meet and greets and things like that, and then whenever I have my like autograph table and stuff, I bring my banner. Well, the banner just pulls up. It's got all the hardware, and it can be changed out or updated at any time. So it's got all of my different characters, and then he designed it for me, and then I just had to say yay or nay or change this around or make this bigger or change the color, and he just nailed it. And of course, he wrote voice actor, so yeah, I really think voice actor is the right term.
Yeah.
Well, female, so.
Well, some of those people who are watching right now, they see your face, and you might not be. Like, they might know your voice, but they might not know your face. So tell everybody what you've done in the past. Like, what is your big voice acting gig that everybody's going to know about? Tell them all about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I am Stephanie Nadolny from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I do the voices of Kid Goku from Dragon Ball, Powerful Extend, as well as Kid Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. That's like, but Dad. And he's kind of got a little more of a raspy voice, and then I take him all the way up through the Cell Saga, which is, we don't have to do this, Cell. This fight, it's meaningless. Ah! And he screams forever.
That's so awesome.
Wow, do I have a picture of him? Well, let's see. Where's Kid Go? Here's no, I guess. Oh, here he is. He's just really little. This is Gohan right here. And this is
That's
him
so cute.
training. And then whenever he gets really crazy powerful, he like powers up and becomes Super Saiyan. His hair turns like bright gold. And this is him. Believe it or not, he's at only 11 years old here.
Wow.
Crazy. Japanese
That
animation.
is, yeah, that is one buff 11-year-old. My goodness.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he's like ready to kick some tail.
Most of my voice acting career, for whatever reason, I've been, I do all kinds of character voices, but when I auditioned for the role back in 1998 or 1999, was it? Late 1998, I just went in thinking I would be auditioning for female roles.
Right.
And so like I was looking at these auditions and kind of reading, for the females. So I wasn't prepared at all for the audition for a little boy of all things. And I didn't even know. I just thankfully I'd been a mimic my whole life growing up playing with different voices just for fun, that I was able to come up with something on the spot. And then it's become this big, really big iconic thing, because when the show was airing, a lot of my fans now, they're all ages, but most of them really are like 20s and 30s, because they watched it when they were really young, like around 99, 2000. And then from there, and then now they're having kids and watching it with their kids. So honestly, my popularity is bigger now than it really was at the time.
It's like a total resurgence right now, isn't it?
It is, and I think there was a big anniversary for the show in Japan as well, and that was a big deal. I remember even seeing it like Walmart. I'd walk by and see, Dragon Ball Z stuff, and there was like this big deal with that. And then with all these conventions where you can go all over the world, really, and almost every, I don't say every city, but every big metropolis has one. Some kind of a Comic-Con or a pop culture event of some kind. And, they have them all over the world. They have some, and I've been to Australia, New Zealand, the UK. Haven't been traveling much lately, which is unfortunate. I've done some virtual stuff. Like I'm getting ready to do this thing called Con Live, where you can go on and purchase a hangout session with me from like say 5 to 20 minutes, and you just kind of pick your time. I've got an agent behind it all. I love Chris Latosh.
That is such a cool idea, man. And that's the thing, is so many people are coming up with these really unique and cool ideas during the pandemic that we probably wouldn't have done before, that we could probably use forever. Even if the pandemic like ended tomorrow, now you've got this whole new platform. It's killer, man.
And I'm like, I got to wear a cute jacket. Like, I've just been, bumming around in jeans and, and my hair is all dark. I had to grow it out. It was all damaged. So I cut off all this blonde hair, and I'm just kind of embracing this whole new image, I guess. I don't know. And then
you look fantastic, man. You seriously do.
It's a whole different, I've been blonde forever, even when I was a kid, I was blonde, but I don't know. I'm just kind of embracing it and letting all this damaged hair grow out, and just being like, you know what? I'm just not so vain anymore. I don't know. It's just not important to me. It's fun to get dressed up,
right.
Because the show part of me, the showman entertainment part of me really wants to fix up and have some fun with that. But
yeah, totally.
But times have changed.
They have, man.
Different. Masks are becoming a fashion item.
Exactly. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. It's like you could get a mask to match anything right now.
They sell the masks with the headbands now, like with the
crazy.
Outfits in some of the stores, the
That's
retail
so
stores.
nuts.
It's crazy. I know. And then I like that some of them have messages,
Right.
And I've got this awesome friend of mine, Paulina Creighton. Hello, I hope she's watching.
Yeah, let's see it.
This is like, so she made this mask, okay? Like, it's so cool. And I bought a bunch of them from her, and then I put them on my autograph table, and sometimes they sell great, sometimes they don't. I can sign the back in silver or whatever. And some people like just keep them as I don't know.
That is so cool, man. I gotta
like prints, and stuff. But
I gotta buy 2 from you. I'll buy one for me to have autographs, and then I'll buy another one, and we'll put it in auction for breast cancer stickers sometimes. That'd be awesome.
That's a donation, girl.
Oh man,
it's a nonprofit.
Come on,
charity.
Off. Give me that right off. Well, Stephanie,
she'll be so excited though, because I'll need more.
Yeah,
so I'll have her make more. She's been asking me like,
killer.
Need more.
That would be so cool, man. That'd be
I can
really
do autographs
cool.
and prints through the mail. I've got my fan club email is Stephanie Fan Mail, just Stephanie Fan Mail @gmail.com, and I can send prints and sign shirts, hoodies, whatever through the mail. And see, that was kind of already becoming a trend anyway. And then with the pandemic, it was like full on, like, okay, let's just do all this stuff through the mail. Let's do stuff online. There's Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. There's all kinds of ways to bank with people and
Yeah,
carry out
Venmo and
transactions. I mean, I'm sure you know
yeah,
just as much as
everything.
I do, if not more, with all the things you're doing with breast cancer can stick it.
Totally, dude. Hey,
Breast cancer can stick it.
hey, I need to get you to do that. We'll like do like a Goku, radio spot for breast cancer can stick it. We'll have to work that out. Well, so I want to be sure that we go back in time, Stephanie, to when you first, like we were talking about the other night, and you've always kind of been into this whole idea of voices and things like that. And I know there's two different, like it's almost like there's two different Stephanies. There's the Stephanie voice actor, and then there's the Stephanie singer. Which one came first, and how old were you when that happened?
That's so funny you say that. I mean, because I mean, I like I said, I was doing voices and mimicking and putting together radio shows with a cassette player, cassette recorder when I was very young. Just for fun. I was just having fun. That's what I enjoyed doing. That and dabbling in some piano. I played by ear. I couldn't really read that well. I did take lessons for about 5 or 6 years and did some competitions and some singing competitions and things like that. And I pretty much was interested in anything performance related, whether it be obviously the voice was the first thing that I embraced and discovered was my passion, even at the tender young age of only 3. That my oldest, my oldest memories that I can remember, I was about 3.5, and my dad and my mom were both really into music, thankfully, which I loved and embraced all their music. And it was all kinds of music, anything from 50s to, and then as I grew up through the 80s, I embraced my own music. But my dad, fortunately, was always into music and always had a cool stereo of some kind. And he had like a cassette player in the car, and that was a big deal, but when I was super crazy little, we had 8 tracks, and my dad would get these blank 8 tracks, and then he got these little microphones you plug in, like little tiny little nothing to them kind of microphones. And I remember singing songs from school in this microphone, and I was absolutely completely obsessed with it. And my dad would literally have to pry it out. I'm glad he had 2, because my brother had one and I had one, and he would tape this stuff. I don't know where this stuff ended up. I would love to get my hands on it. I think it's long gone in the past, but I knew at that age, and especially when I discovered Donna Summer and her voice spoke to me at an extremely young age.
Toot,
before
toot.
I really even
Beep beep.
yeah.
Toot toot. Totally, dude.
That and the I Feel Love.
Talking
that
about
song,
the
I Feel
bad
Love.
girls. Yeah, man. All that stuff. Disco.
My mom would dance with me. We'd disco dance. My dad would disco dance. I'd step on his feet and we'd disco dance. And then he would sing that Born to Be Alive and all these really cool songs that were out at the time. And I remember swaying. I would be at the Christmas tree, and I was 3 or 4, and I had my favorite nightgown on, which my mom also had to like pry out of my hands because I would not. I just didn't want to get rid of it, and I had obviously outgrown it, and I don't know. I have these strange attachment issues that I'm still to this day dealing with. But anyway, so my dad would be, it's time to go to bed, and I would literally cry and like hang on to the microphone and just beg to keep singing and talking and speaking and listening back and mimicking. And I didn't know that at all at that age, even 8 or 9, 10 years old, that there was a career to be made, a career to be had doing these voices, and that I could voice these things that I hear, cartoons and the Smurfs and Looney Tunes and whatever I was listening to on TV. I would like record with this little tape recorder. I always had to have my batteries. I couldn't stand it when my.
Are you talking about like one of those tape recorders that was like that they used in school, pretty much, and then
this is a boombox, but I have one.
Yeah,
and I don't know where that little tape recorder is, but we have one. We actually bought one, and because I found all my old cassette tapes, and some of them are like so old. They're like, I mean, I have me playing on the piano and making all these crazy, making up these voices.
That's so awesome that you have that.
I want to preserve them.
Yeah, totally.
I want to get them on the computer, and we've got all the audio stuff, and we're just trying to learn how to do all the technological part of it. And that's one of my goals. That you have to stop and do this stuff. You can't just like let it go. But so that's something I'm really excited about, is like all these, especially, I mean, the ones with music, I can get music. It does any time. But like when I was in plays and musicals, and like all we had at the time was a tape recorder. So we would tape it on cassette, and that's how I would listen back to it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like the VCR.
The big VCR, and you can actually see moving pictures and things. Wow. Right, yeah. So
yeah, my dad and mom were both into music, so I embraced all of it.
Do you remember like a first like voice that you mimicked? Like, was there like a did you try to do like a Smurf voice or anything? Like, do you remember like when
Papa Smurf? And she was the only girl. There was only one girl Smurf, and I was like, why is there only one girl Smurf? And then well, there's Brainy. He's braining again, and they just had all these different kinds of voices, and I would try to mimic like old people, like I remember mimicking even my family members. Crazy. Like one of my characters that I got, a side character, not a big character at all, but one of them was an old villager, and it was in Dragon Ball. And my character, Kid Goku, was the lead role in Dragon Ball, not in Dragon Ball Z per se, but when he grew up, he was. But so I was actually in a scene with myself, right? And I had to come up with this villager, this old lady voice, and I ended up channeling my Polish aunt Manya from Rhode Island, and I was just like, ah, yeah. Your Uncle Randy passed away last November. Ah, yeah, Stephanie. She'd talk like this.
That is so awesome, man. That's awesome.
I don't know. For me, it's just talking like my aunt, and it works. So we went with that voice. And then another fun story, which a lot of the fans will know more so, is I voiced a character. She was a small character. Her name's East Kai. Oh my gosh, I wish I had a picture of her. She's on my banner. I should have had my collage ready, but maybe she's on this one. She is. If you can see this lady right here, she's crazy. Like this crazy woman. She wears a wig and she rides around on a scooter, like flying through the air. Anyway, they had already chosen the voice for East Kai. This was way back. I don't know, 2002, 2003. And the director was like, you know what? Throw a voice out here for this character. What do you think about this? And so I was like, oh, well, she would obviously sound like this. Oh my. And it was so over the top. And it sounded nothing like Goku or nothing like Gohan. And so they went with it. So I got cast as East Kai, and it was just a few episodes, but the voice was it was just so fun, to like these characters.
I was telling you the other night, I was like, the whole idea of being a voice actor like you are, I'm just like, I can't even think about it. I'll try to mimic something and it will come out absolutely wrong. Like I can't ever do it. It's so amazing to me that you could just boom, pop right into it. It's so cool.
There's some that are easier than others. I mean, I find myself, I'd still do this to this day. I mean, like walking around the house, cooking and cleaning. It's like, I'll hear something, like there's a show called Crank Anchors, and I've found myself really blown away by most of them are comedians already, and they have cool voices already. And so then they're doing character voices. And I found myself there's a character on there called named Elmer. And he was like, yeah, you gave me a gay Christmas tree over here. And my wife, she's hard of hearing. And it's Jimmy Kimmel.
That is awesome, man.
How in the world? I mean, I have one voice, right? How can my one set of vocal cords change so dramatically? I don't know, but it's a talent that's God-given, I'm telling you. But
so cool.
And I've been able to use that through my singing. Like I can mimic sounds, like original cover songs, and so when I did do some original stuff, it's kind of like what's Stephanie sound like, because I was always mimicking doing cover material, but it helps when I'm trying to do like R&B, I want to sound like an R&B soul chick, and I was able to use that to my advantage with being able to be a mimic and just change my voice. And then another character I was cast as, I don't know if it's on here too, is it Baby Trunks? No, Baby Trunks isn't on here, but his name is Baby Trunks, and he's a small character as well. No, he's just a crying baby. He's just like, it's just stuff like that.
That's so awesome, man.
I mean, we were all babies, right? And then, of course, I have to give you this one. This is one of my favorites. When South Park came out, which, by the way, that show is crazy, risque. It pushes all the envelopes. But the character voices fascinated me. And I remember my boyfriend at the time in the 90s, he was watching that. Well, Beavis and Butthead came first, and so I had to, mimic them, like, this sucks. Yeah, it sucks. So there's Beavis and Butthead. Then of South Park Cartman. Is it Timmy says to get some scissor anchoring him. And what's another one?
Greatness.
Billy? What is it? King of the Hill. I'm just doing rapid fire here.
It's awesome.
All this time I thought I was an extra large, but I'm actually a medium at the fat kid store. It's always funny if you can. It's funny you can capture a line that's funny,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's so somebody was asking, they're like, what other voices have you done, or what other voices do you do on the Dragon Ball series? And then you mentioned a couple just now, but
Mhm.
like, how many times have you been cast as different characters? Like, what's the number? Are there just a ton, or how
Uh,
many?
those well, I say four. There's about four. Really, the two main ones are Kid Goku. Kid Goku, yeah. And then of course he gets changed back into a kid, and then we do this series called Dragon Ball GT, which the fans should know very well. Let's see, does that look right? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, Goku gets changed back into a little kid, and this is kind of like a more recent show where it's real like the animation's like all updated, it's all sci-fi, and so then Goku gets changed back into a little kid, which is interesting because I had to like use my acting skills, my from acting and majoring in drama and just I don't know, to come up with a character voice that is still the same kid, but he's been an adult, changed back into a kid. So now he's an adult. So you have to have that inflection and that the fact that he's an adult now, but
So
he's
you have
still
to like carry
I have
through
to
some of
act.
you have to carry through some of the way that he talks into the different age version, right? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
through the script,
Uh-huh.
and then having known the character as a kid and then growing up and then knowing the character voice and the person behind adult Goku, which is the big star of everything in Dragon Ball Z, it's like I kind of knew what to do. And thankfully I did have acting chops from I mean mostly I did musicals because I sang, I danced and I acted. So I was able to encompass all of that. And when I went to college for a couple of years, I was thinking, well, I'm already kind of been singing. I really want to be an act like I want to learn how to be an actress. Like I want to learn how to act like really like serious dramatic stuff, right? So I majored in it. But every time auditions would come around, because I had all this experience with the singing, dancing, and acting, I always got cast in musicals, which is awesome because it was a blast for me. But I've never been able to really sink my chops into a serious acting role. But I was able to incorporate what training and whatever it was from community theater, talent shows, drill team. I mean anything I could do that was involved performing
Yeah,
and using the
entertaining,
voice.
like entertaining of all different types and everything. Yeah.
Comedy, improv, I dabbled in some of that. I mean, I was like, what is it? I was the voice of some like toys. Like this is like hit me, baby, one more time. Oh, baby, baby. And Jimmy
That's
Industries
awesome.
hired me for that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and there's another one here. It's like this one here is so I had to channel my my soul chick, right? So she's like, um, ooh, baby, baby, baby. So that was kind of fun. And what's fun is when you can do a voice and sing both at the same time. So cool. Some of the stuff I've done with that was Kids Christmas is a song that I wrote with Carl Finch from Brave Combo in Denton, Texas. I think it was 98. And we put together this song that we wrote. Like we wrote the song together and the music and everything. He was huge with the music, and I was more there for the lyrics and then obviously for the performance. So I was able to do this song called Kids Christmas. It's on YouTube. And thankfully Dan helped me put that up. He did all the work behind that and put together the video. But it's actually Kid Goku's voice singing the whole first verse about all these toys he wants for Christmas. And then the whole second verse is a little girl. And then they're singing. They're like brother and sisters and they sing together and then they harmonize together. And so when we were in the studio, we were, not only creating an original song that ended up being novel and it was played on, I don't know, some morning show radio stuff with TM Century and back in the day. So that was like a whole different thing. Like you're not just going in the studio and recording an original song. You're like encompassing these voices with it. And then I did one called Halloween Rocks. I wrote that. It's all about candy. It's all about kids going out trick or treating. It's hilarious. I've got to get that up. It's not on YouTube yet. But and then there's a whole album called the Cookies that Carl Finch from Brave Combo, Grammy award winning nuclear polka band. We worked together back in around 96, 97. Vince Vance and the Valiants, the show band I was traveling with, we were actually corresponding with that band with like some of the shows like, German Fest, Munster Fest, and some of the festivals in Denton, Jazz Fest. And we ended up just talking one night, and he had me sit in, and next thing you know, we're working together. It was like a really cool experience. So we've got this whole album we want to get up online too that kind of never got released. It just kind of got put on hiatus a long time ago. So, and the fans are interested, so let's get it out there. You want to listen to it? Let's put it out
Man,
there. So
yeah,
stuff.
it's so cool. I mean, like I said, you've got such a wide variety of things happening in your life. Writing and voice acting and singing
Right.
and all just such a fun life. Do you remember like the first band that you were ever in?
Yes, I do. Well, first of all, my brother when we were kids, he liked to play the drums, so he got a drum set, and I'm so upset. He ended up going to college and he had no money, so he sold his drum set, his awesome drum set, bright royal blue, and he was pretty good. And here I am tinkering around on the piano, right? And he's 3 years older, and I'm thinking we could work together. And he sold his drums because he needed the money, and they never drummed again.
That's like the worst story ever, man. As a drummer, when I hear that, it's like ripping my heart out of my chest. It's like, no.
I know, and being such a lover of music, and our parents were so into music. It's like, what are you doing? No, get a job, find another way. Don't give up your drums. And like we had them set up in the garage, and I ended up with a keyboard, and so that dream never happened, and it kind of dissolved. And he ended up being an accountant like my dad. We are completely different. Like, I mean, I'm all out there, over the top creative, and he's like quiet. He thinks things through. He's got his 2 girls. He's got a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old. Him and Kelly live in Frisco, and we're just completely different. But I would have loved to have seen that dream happen. But my first band that I actually technically was in was a band that got started by a friend of mine, bass player Mark Johnson. We were all in Denton. And
is that actually where you went to school? Did you go to UNT for drama and everything?
I did. Yes, I did. I went to University of North Texas. I didn't go very far. I moved around a lot, but I had lived in the Louisville area, which really was only about 15 miles away.
Right.
So I was really attached to my mother, and she was my everything. And so I didn't want to go too far away from her. And fortunately, UNT is a great school for music.
Yeah, I went to UNT for 2.5 years, so I'm with you.
Oh, I was hanging out at Bruce Hall, girl, in the dorm. I wanted to hang with the musicians. Like that was my thing. Like it was like such a hippie, just such a cool hippie hang. And man, I loved college. I mean, I ended up joining Vance and the Valiants and took off in a show band and never went back. And for being so scholastic, that's kind of was odd for me. But at the same time, when I latch onto my dream, like that's all I can see is my passion. And so that's what ended up happening. But my first band was called Backroads Romance. And my friend David Brem, who's still playing to this day, plays guitar. He's married to a Stephanie singer. And anyway, back then, I was just a baby. I was 18 and loved to sing, and was so excited at the opportunity. We actually put out a demo and everything, and we were going to start booking gigs when I met Lindy of Lindy and the Look, Lindy Wilson, great singer, amazing musician. His brother, Steve Wilson. They had a band called Hollywood Heart.
Is it Steve?
Hollywood Heart?
Well, I know it's Steve Wilson from the Denton area. He was he was also with some other well-known bands, right? Blonde guy, bass player. I did some work with him with Matt Johnson a long time ago.
I love Matt Johnson. Okay,
Yeah.
see,
So well, David Heidemann was in Metal Shop. So,
I know.
Yeah.
He's
so
amazing.
it's like,
I worked with him for a little bit too. Troy Powers. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because we probably ran in the same groups back in the day, but didn't meet until around 97, I think. Or you said you joined Vince in 98. Yeah, when you were with Vince and the Valiants, that's when I met you. But
it was such an amazing opportunity. And being in these little small towns, moving around, my stepdad was always transferred, back when from age 7 up through 11th grade, I was moving every 2 years or so. And I was always the new girl. And at the time it was horrifying, and I was bullied and I couldn't fit in. And right when I fit in, it was time to move again. And it was never convenient. It was so hard. It's great now. You can put me anywhere, and I'm a chameleon. I can just, I can make friends anywhere, but at the time growing up, it was really hard. But what I was getting at is once we as a family ended up in the Louisville, close to Dallas Fort Worth area, was close to a big city. And for my dreams and aspirations, I really wanted as a kid to go to LA and be in commercials and do all this other stuff. But my parents were like, hell no, you're going to be a kid and you're going to live this way. And later on you can do all that crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to do all that when I was growing up. But, I see, you see children getting into the industry, and it can be kind of tragic sometimes. I don't know. It's I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. It's crazy. So maybe it was a better way for you, better route for you.
Right. I mean, as a kid, I had all these. Yeah, I had all these dreams of like, wanting to be a pop star again. The whole Britney Spears thing and the Mickey Mouse stuff, like all of that sounded like totally everything I wanted to do. But my parents, we got a job. You got to go to school. You got to get through school, and they had they had the reasons behind it. And I had a very religious background, and I was hanging out in my church peeps, and getting that moral compass going at a young age, which really was awesome. But it was a rough childhood, really moving around like that. But what ended up happening is being close to Dallas Fort Worth. Uh, I've been able to do things that I'm doing now that I would not probably have had anywhere near the opportunities in a small town like Coffeyville, Kansas, or Durant, Oklahoma. Which I love you guys, and I love them. I love all my peeps there, but that just when your stepdad's dad gets transferred, you got to go. And I wanted to stay even as I got older. Like I wanted to stay like in Kansas because by then I was about 16, almost 17. And my parents were like, no, you're coming with us. It was just a very strict upbringing. This just wasn't even an option. So, but now that I'm here, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I moved so much during my growing up. I'm like, I'm in the same
You're like,
house literally 21 years this summer.
really? Wow, that's crazy.
I got my house in 2000. Yeah. And I still have that house. It's crazy. It's but I just don't want to move. I mean, it's so hard for me to move. Like moving's hard for anybody. Like moving is really, really, I mean,
yeah, it sounds like you were moving around a lot. So
you accumulate a lot of stuff over the years when you have a house all to yourself.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from on that for sure.
Yeah, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to move though. I'm ready to get the house of my dreams that I want to stay in for a long time with a studio in it. Which this is good for now, but I'm ready to kind of shake it loose here in the next year or so and kind of move to. I want to move towards DFW. I like Irving, Euless, Grapevine, South Lake. I love that.
Yeah,
area.
Those are great areas. I want to make sure I give a shout out real quick, Stephanie. We have a ton of people here in the house. I want to give a shout out to. Yeah, we've got Mike is in the house. Tina, we've got Shane, Brandon, Thomas, Rick, Mark,
Shane.
Anthony, Diego, Aaron, Deborah, Daniel, Patrick. Everybody's in the house. I want to remind you guys, this is Stephanie Nadolny in the house. She is a voice actor. You might recognize her voice from Dragon Ball Z and some of the other Dragon Ball series, Goku, Gohan, all those crazy guys. And she is also an amazing singer, so be sure and pop in any questions. I know we had one question here. We kind of answered it a minute ago, and they wanted to know how we met, and we talked about it real briefly. I was in a band called Frognot, and my singer was a guy named Dennis Leonard. This is in 1996. And literally, like, here's the flow of it. We were at a karaoke at WC Fields, I think it was, and off of Beltline in Richardson, Texas.
Richardson, I remember that.
And I think you were there as well. It was Brandy and you and maybe some other people, and you guys were doing karaoke, and we were doing karaoke, and that's where we met Brandy, and then we met you through Brandy. And again, this was like 90, probably I guess maybe 98 if you started with Vince at that time.
Kids.
Yeah, and then Brandy and Dennis ended up getting married at one point.
Yes, they did.
And
that.
so we were always around Vince fans of the Valiants because my singer was with Brandy. And so, I even I remember one time I traveled on your tour bus with you guys to a gig out in Mississippi. And I got to see what bunking in a bus was like. I was like, oh my God, this is
it's
squished
crazy.
up, painful.
I joined at the best time because they had a shuttle. They had a van years before that, and then a shuttle van, which is a little bit better, more space or whatever. But then right when I joined, July of 1991, I had been doing I was working with Backwards Romance, and then I met like the right people, and then Ed Cobb, who managed the band, and then I ended up auditioning for Lindy the Look, and then all of a sudden it's like this girl was sick and she had to leave Vince Vance, and Ed Cobb's like, this girl's got to be in Vince Vance. I mean, she sings, dance, and acts. We do costumes. I mean, this is perfect. The drama background and everything. And I cut my chops and my teeth on Vince Vance and the Valiants, and I would not trade it for the world. I mean, I was, like I said, very, very studious, scholastic, wanted to get my degree, that gotta have the 4.0, the straight A's, blah, 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 whatever. But once I got the job with Vince, I was addicted. I didn't even leave for like a good solid decade. I thought I'd do like two years and go back to school. No, that was it for me. My heart belonged singing, performing, traveling, the whole bit. And then I ended up leaving and coming back, and it's over the span of literally like, I think 30, well, I guess it's right at 30 years now. But I mean, like the grand total of the years was I probably was with him more like about 16, 17, if you added it all up, but in and out of it over the time. And he's still
Yeah.
performing, Vince
Yeah,
Vance.
and
He's
I was
about to
gonna
have his 50th. His
I,
50th reunion this
it's
September. Go Vince
crazy.
Vance.
I'm gonna actually I'm gonna bring up a picture of Vince Vance because a lot of
Oh,
people
please
may
do.
not be familiar with what he looks like and what his whole thing is.
With his
But
cone hair,
yeah,
sticking it straight up.
he's
Started out
got
as a
like a
pompadour.
serious shtick going on here. So you can find
Yeah.
Vince Vance and the Valiants on Facebook, and this is a picture right here of
Yes, he's
Vince from
great.
Vince Vance
He's like
the
family.
Valiants. So yeah, it's
And Brandy's
crazy.
like my sister. I mean, like sister Janet, and I mean, we went through so many different Valiants. I know when I was new, I was the baby at the time,
Right.
but the girls were 25 and 30, and I was just like, like in awe. They would like throw me all the crappy costumes, and I didn't care. I'm like, give it a bit.
I'll wear it.
Yeah, yeah. Got kind of picked on here and there, and it was crazy. But I learned a lot, and moving around and being thrown into situations was good because it made it good. And then I just got, we were kids. We were kids. We wanted to sing everything. We all had that ache. We wanted to, have a feature or have us, get to sing a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And we just grew up together and we would have so much fun. Oh my gosh, me and Brandy go so bad. We go so because she joined in the early 90s, she was 93. And my friend Andrea was there for a while too. She's Venus Valiant, and I was Violet because we got to pick V names. Vince Vance of the Valiants and the Vivacious Vixens of Rock and Roll. Venus, Violet, and Victoria. Yay!
Woo!
I know the three of us were in a band together for a long time, and we were really, really into the choreography. Like, different girls and different people that came in and out through in the band had different gifts, and we would always highlight whatever those were, because some of them were good dancers, some of them were good singers, some were good at all of it. Some, so we maximized what we could based on the talent that came through. So there's still girls that I ended up mentoring so many.
And there's always 3 women in the band with Vince, right? And they all have V names, but each time somebody new comes in, they get a brand new V name. So none of the V names match, right?
I don't think I think every once in a blue moon there'd be a repeat name. I know when I joined, I was Violet, it was Vixie and Veronica. And Vixie came back around at some point. But then we had a girl, beautiful Hispanic girl, Michelle. I hope she's watching, Michelle Gonzalez. She picked I think it was Velvet, which was so appropriate. And I don't know. And then we had a Vincent, Tiffany, little baby girl. We had Venus. Andrea was just the perfect Venus. I mean, if you saw this big, beautiful, gorgeous red curly hair. And we did a Madonna medley. I don't know if you remember that. Oh my gosh. And I did Material Girl. We dressed up like that. And then Brandy did, Victoria did Get Into the Groove. So she did Desperately Seeking Susan, got the whole outfit ready for that. And then Venus did the Vogue. So she dressed up like Madonna as the Vogue. It was so fun. We did some really awesome stuff, and we were able to see a lot of the world. And we traveled to Europe in 2000, and we got to do a U.S. Naval base tour, and we just had a ball. And thankfully, I don't know who started it. I don't know. It might have been me. I ended up with a video camera at some point. The other 2 had to have one. And next thing you know, so there's a lot of this stuff documented somewhere. I've got a big box full of these 8mm tapes that also need to be transferred over and edited and like put up on social media, because we had some fun. We did a lot of behind the scenes stuff with that too, and so we were just acting silly, singing and dancing and playing around in the dressing room. I mean, you never knew what you had, right? A dressing room. You might be in a closet.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like Metal Shop. It's the same thing. You never know if you're going to be changing in like a bathroom stall or if a kitchen, an office.
You have to hide. Like sometimes Vince and us would be all slammed in there at the same time, but he would be out when we would be in, and we would be crossing paths, and so we would just hide behind stuff. And you just got used to it. It was just, that's what you do.
Yeah, and because you guys would change costumes multiple times throughout the night. I mean, how many different costume changes?
More. Over the years, we accumulated so many more, and then next thing you know, I'm out buying them, and I'm seeing them, and the girls, and we're decorating them, we're putting rhinestones on them, and we're just decking them out, and really having fun with it. And we had like the poodle skirts. We all had 3 different colors, and of course, I had to have the purple one, and or I don't know. We just we did a biker thing with some combat boots and some cool like biker jackets, and we had bustiers. We put sequins on our bustiers back when those were popular in the 90s, and we did Supreme's gowns with the white gloves and the beautiful long gowns, and we put big bouffants and buns in our hair, and we would do oh gosh, it was so fun. We would do I made it a point if we could I mean, we had to do quick changes. I'm talking really quick, to change our earrings, our hair accessory, all, we would change everything. So when we came out, we looked like completely different people, dressed up as completely different eras of rock and roll, whether it be the 50s, the 60s, disco. And then we got crazy with that and did like all the crazy blue eyeshadow and ratted our hair out. And then we started wearing wigs. We started wearing these retro, like purple, green, and bright neon pink wigs. And then we would just, I don't know, it was a ball. I still have some pieces of my costumes that have somehow survived. I don't know. I find stuff in my garage.
You're probably like, what the heck is this? And you're like, oh, I've got I have a Halloween costume for every year for the rest of my life or something, right?
Oh, heck yeah. And I was able to incorporate a lot of that into the High Rollers with the WinStar Casino when Dan Bradford was hired through Absolute Entertainment to put together this band that he just, just all the best musicians you could come up with. And then we put a show together, and it was a senior breakfast from 2010 to 2014. And we were called the High Rollers, adequately named for a casino. Right. And we had so much fun with that. I ended up, because I had been with Vince Vance and the Valiants. I mean, seriously, Vince Vance, Troy Powers, guitar, great songwriters too, by the way, taught me so much. And the other girls, when I joined the older girls, that they were older than me, so they were my big sisters. I learned so much just from being around that environment and from listening and paying attention and being a mimic and watching and, literally learning, how to look and see what the dance move is or what arm you're on or what step you're on with your peripheral vision,
right.
And I learned how to do that. And then learning how to teach and look at, sometimes people got thrown in when we had somebody like get sick, or one of us would fall ill all of a sudden, and boom, we had somebody new, and we were having to like literally try to guide them, throw them in the costume. Well, that's the first part, but then you got to like, what do they know? Give them a song they know, and like literally make the show work and on the spot. So I learned a lot about that kind of stuff too.
Well,
I'm not afraid to sit in with anybody, I don't think. I mean, because it's like, well, if I don't know the song, I'll make it up, or I'll hear the harmony that someone else is singing and pick another one, or make up the words.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And by the way, I have to tell you, while you were talking, we were talking about all the costume changes and everything with Vince. I found a video and played that while we were talking about it a little bit. It was
cool.
It was a video. It looks like it's from 1999. No, it says 1993, but you guys are wearing your cheerleader outfits, it looks like. And so, I forget the girl's name. Right? What was the girl's name with the redhead?
Andrea.
Okay, yeah, she was the one in the group with you guys. And if you guys missed it, earlier on we said that I met Stephanie through Brandy. Brandy is just making it full circle here. Brandy is a volunteer photographer for Breast Cancer Can Stick It year after year, and has been since the very beginning. So you guys probably recognize Brandy, and I'm gonna bounce it onto the screen
again.
Own
bands too.
Yeah,
she branched out and started her own band.
I'm showing them the video again right now. I'm gonna try to pop back
cute.
in here.
It's so cute.
I'm
we
popping
were so
back.
tiny. We were so young. Yeah. We were just. I mean,
That's her on the far left, and then that's Stephanie in the middle, who just jumped out of the screen. Yes, pigtails and everything. Okay, so here's a close-up. There's a close-up of Stephanie right there.
Oh,
and there she is. I know, it's awesome, though.
It's okay.
It's so awesome. Trust me, you're going to watch the replay, and you're going to be like, oh, my God, I'm going to kill April for doing that. But
I know, right?
It's
awesome,
it's
out there, though, right?
Yeah, it
is. The internet.
It's the internet, the interwebs. We've got you, and so, yeah, it's amazing.
It's so
captured
cool. Forever.
Yeah, so
we had so much fun. And we were like, Vince was like all about red lipstick and being on time,
right,
and the costuming and not walking through a crowd before the show in your costume and making it all about magic. And we all come out and whoa, it's like this big visual thing too. It's not just the singing and the choreography, and it's the costumes, and it's like, woo, what are these?
Yeah, it's building up that point, because like we do that with Metal Shop too. Is it's like you try to just like appear in your costume as like it's a lot bigger impact than if you're like in your costume walking around and you
walk right out.
You seem very accessible. You got to look like you're not accessible, and then after you get on stage and do your thing, then you go out there and hang with people, and it's so cool. It's the fun part of being a musician, is being an entertainer too, which makes it so much fun. I don't want to miss this question. I had another question for you. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'm fine. We're all over the map tonight, man. We got a question.
And I'm distracted anyway.
It's all good.
Oh my gosh, am I cooking something? Is the iron on?
Squirrel. So Mary has a question. She says, do you have any voice acting projects going on right now, or is there one in progress?
Right now, I'm working on Wonderbot Animals. It is a cool YouTube page that features feel-good narrative scripts about any and all animals, and they're all so heartfelt and loving and warm, and they're all ages, family oriented. I love it because I love kids. Don't have any. Oh, I got to live vicariously through Kid Goku though. So, it's something I'm doing ongoing. And I think I've been doing that about a year or so. Maybe not quite, but anyway, I get about anywhere from 7 to 10 scripts. They come from me from overseas, and there's two other narrators that participate because there's so many, and there's so many, really, seriously, there's plenty of work to go around. So I do about 7 to 10 of those, and I can record at home with Dan, and he's going to teach me how to do all that, how to record myself on the, all the technical backside with the internet, and uploading files, and editing what you've done. And what's interesting about the Wonderbot Animals is this is a whole different bag, because first of all, it's not a character voice, and it's not a show. They're all different and unique, and I dive right into the narrative almost as if I'm tackling an audiobook, and there's no prep. They're due kind of as soon as you can get them done, but they're anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes of copy, and jumping into those without any prep and some of the pronunciation. I mean, you just have to just go for it, and for efficiency's sake, knock them out, and then fix them in post and get a nice warm sound and all of that stuff. The sound part of it, I'm gonna have to learn. But it's really been really good practice to tackle voice acting in that manner. And so yeah, I've learned how to be patient and sit still and and learn how to be focused on a script like that. And of course, I love animals, so they're all fun to do. And then another thing I've done that's kind of on hiatus as well, probably due to the pandemic, is a show called The Adventures of Ryan DeFreitas, and it's on American Family Studios. I play the voice of Ryan DeFreitas' mom, and they originally were going to call it Deb the Mom, and then they ended up changing the name, but I ended up with the role of Deb the Mom, and that voice was just me as a, say, 46-ish year old mother of a teenager, and that was kind of more my regular voice, which was something new for me as well. But they have I think 6 or 7 DVDs that are out online that can be acquired, and again, it's called The Adventures of Ryan DeFreitas, and my voice on that is just, now Ryan, you're not supposed to do that, kind of a motherly kind of voice, but it's me. And what else am I working on, aside from wanting to really sit down and do an album, which I'm trying to hone in on what the material would be. I definitely want to sit back and start writing. From life experience, I have a ton of things to write about, so I'd like to write my own music at some point. And I've been doing some parodies off and on since the 90s that are so fun. I did one called Broccoli Spears, and it's about eating your veggies, like eat your veggies when you dine. And so then I rewrite like Weird Al Yankovic, right? So like you take a song, you change the words,
right?
And I'm working on one right now about the pandemic, and it's already a song I had. I'm gonna have to write it because it's eating at me, because I'm already coming up with the lines, and I already know how I'm gonna sing it, because I'm gonna sound like the Green Day's the band. I'm gonna sound like him because he sounds like he's got a runny nose, So I'm gonna write this song about the pandemic, and I don't know, just for fun, get it out there, just to put some comedic stuff out there, just to put good stuff out there, for people to enjoy. And it's a really serious thing, and people are dying, and it's horrifying. But if you can try to grasp the lighthearted part of it, if you can, and try to laugh, because laughter's therapy for me. I don't know, and when I make others laugh, it's even better. So writing the parodies has been fun. I did one called A Turkey Like This, which was Kelly Clarkson. A turkey like this, some people cook their lifetimes for a turkey like this. It's all about Thanksgiving, and
that's awesome.
Could this be the greatest butterball? And it's suddenly my pants are feeling small. Awesome. It's just funny.
Oh my gosh,
I did one called RECEIPT. That's our store policy, and that's about Christmas returns. So I did the sometimes you can do them with like a karaoke track, but it's even better if you can get musicians to actually
Yeah,
record the
right.
stuff like a real
Yeah,
song, right?
record it
And
from scratch. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I did one by Christina Aguilera called she did a song called Beautiful, and so I did one called Pitiful, and the whole song's about just being absolutely disgusting and gross and smelly, and it's just funny. It's just fun. I don't know. It's
That's awesome, man.
and I'm able to use my voice and try to mimic the singer and
Right.
then make everything rhyme, and it's a craft that I want to get back into. I don't know. And then jingles, I did some jingles and I want to get back into that too. So I've got my fingers in a lot of pies, right?
It sounds like it. That's awesome.
But the cool thing is I found a way and I didn't know how and when at the time in my 20s. How am I going to make a living at this stuff? And I've been making a living. I've been even when times were tough and I couldn't work for a while and I was sick and I had my mom passed away and there was all these horrible things that happened and divorce and um I've been able to survive and I've not lost my house. I've not lost my car. I'm eating. I'm not hungry. I mean, I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that. It's a really and it's a whole perspective thing. You can be all bitter and angry and PO'd about the horrible things that happen in your life, or you can be like, you know what? I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna learn from it and I'm gonna do something, take it and wrap it up and throw out something really good
Yeah, I
for
mean,
other
and that's
people.
the thing is you
Like
can
what you
always
do with your
you can always find the goodness in just about anything, and I think the start of being happy is being grateful. That's like
absolutely.
the foundation of being happy. I have another question for you here, and
Okay.
I know you mentioned this too, Stephanie, but they might be new back to the broadcast, and we've been on here for a little while. But Thomas Davidson asks, will Stephanie be going to cons once they start back up?
Heck yeah. I'm actually already booked on some, and I did some last year. Even in the pandemic, I was in Jacksonville in the last summer when Florida was a crazy hot spot. All and we just did really good with social distancing. It's really hard for me personally because I happen to be a crazy people person. Like this pandemic is kicking my butt. Like I mean, I'm like a visit and meet strangers at the grocery store kind of person. Like I don't know a stranger. And so for this whole thing, and there's this odd nod that I find myself doing with people. Like, I mean, and you're smiling under your
I
mask
know
and
it's like
you can kind of see it through
it's
your
like
eyes, which is
yeah,
like,
you try and like you do every like I find myself trying to do like even more nice things for strangers. Like I might like when it's not anywhere convenient, they might be on the other side of the parking lot. I'm like, oh well, they'll be here in a minute. I'll just hold the door. Just so you can
right.
do something nice and have like a little
You want
pleasant
to have a
pass.
connection with people. We're social
Yeah,
people. We're
right.
social beings. We need that connection. And it's just been so hard. But no, I did do some and more than I thought lately over the past couple of years, it's just been like you said, this insurgence. It's just been like this crazy, insane popularity from the nostalgia perspective of the fans, like watching it growing up and things. And what's the coolest part for me is getting face to face with these fans and listening to their stories. Because there was a time there when I was going through some really crazy personal struggle, like crazy stuff, like all at once, and to come out from that and still be alive is a miracle, seriously. And then when I hear, because I lost my purpose, I lost myself. I had to like kind of crash and burn and kind of come rise from the phoenix. And that's kind of what I've been doing over the past year. And it's been amazing. And it's like a whole new world, you see from new eyes. And when I hear these stories from the fans, they're like, oh man, I was suicidal or I had an addiction and I couldn't get past it, but Dragon Ball Z got me through it. And your character of Gohan and when he defeats Cell in the Cell Saga really was a huge part of me surviving through these tough times. And when I hear that, I'm like, my work is done, or like my work here, like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, I don't have my own kids, I don't have my own family. I always wanted that, but God, the spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in sometimes has other plans for you. And you just have to take what you get, be grateful, have a good perspective. And so when I see these fans in person, it's the best. It's the best thing. Not all actors or voice actors are really into that so much. And some won't even do the voices. Like they have they're reserved about their craft and they don't want to maybe do the voice as they're seen in person. I don't know. Everyone's different, but for me, that's the best thing. And in fact, I've got some coming up and we can talk about them if you like at some point. So I can do some shout outs about those.
Oh yeah,
If you
go
want me to
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, man, go ahead and do it. I know there's people watching right now that would love to hear about it. We'll try
Yeah,
to
I know
capture it.
that I've got some online stuff and I've got some in-person stuff on the schedule for this year. First of all, the one that's coming up quickly is January 30th. I've got the Con Live Hangouts that you just go to Con Live. There's links all over my social media, Stephanie Nadolny fan page, Stephanie Nadolny voice actress. You can go there and check it out. People from all over the world can purchase these Hangouts. It's going to be from 2 to 8 p.m. on January 30th. It's going to be an all day Saturday thing, and you can purchase Hangouts. And I just, we just go from one to the other. I've got a tech, everybody's handling all of that for me online. We've got the links, everything set up. I don't know if I think there's been 2 or 3 that have been purchased so far, but there's plenty of time. It's going to be the 30th. And then on the 31st, I'll be live in person at the Fanboys in Fort Worth with Mike Rogers and some artists and cosplay guests there. That's going to be 12 to 5 Fanboys. They have their own big giant anime store in Fort Worth. It's so cool. That's going to be the 31st. That's a Sunday, 12 to 5. Let's see what else. Okay, the next thing after that would be February 28th. I'll be in Robinson. I'll be going back to Waco to see my friend Shannon Turner at is it Anamopolis or Anatropolis? She's got this really cool Animotion Plus is the name of her store there in Robinson. Hopefully the news will come out again. They did a news thing on it and ended up on the internet. It was crazy. So that's February 28th, 12 to 5. See some friends of mine there again. We're going to get John Swayze. He's a great voice actor. He'll be there. And then what's the next thing? March 14th through 16th, I'll be in Midland, Texas, going back to Midland, Odessa to see my people there. That'll be fun. That'll be the Comic-Con X Permian Basin, Midland.
Excellent.
And then a big one that's been changed. The date's been changed because of this pandemic. It was supposed to be last May. Then it got moved to January. Well, it's been pushed back to July. It's the big giant KamehaCon 3. That's going to be, I think, in Allen, Texas. That's July. Oh gosh, is it the 14th? I should have this information. I know that I was just announced officially as a guest for that. I'm so excited. That's a big one because that's all Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z themed. So the whole event is Dragon Ball. Like, you can buy pop toys, you can buy figures, you can buy t-shirts. I'll have a table with prints. A lot of voice actors from the show Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z will be there. They're going to be announcing them one at a time, getting the fans all hyped up, right? So that's another big one. And as far as anything else, there's some things in the works, but nothing I can really announce at this point in time. But those are the big things.
What's the one website that they can go to? And we'll put that in the chat down there where they can get all your dates. Is there one website that you have all your events coming up?
I do. I have some social media platforms. I'm getting into Instagram. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up with you young folks. So I've got Stephanie Nadolny, it's just my name on Instagram. But the big ones right now are going to be my Facebook pages. That's going to be Stephanie Nadolny, voice actress. Stephanie Nadolny fan page. My friend Larry Mitchell helps me with that. He puts up if he sees a link or I send him one, he throws it up there. And a lot of these people that put these events on are so awesome, and they have graphic artists that can put together these online banners where they put your picture up and your name and the dates and all the pertinent information. Maybe put some of your characters on there like a collage, and that's been so helpful, especially now with the pandemic. You can just get online and get all of information on those pages. And then the other page that's on hiatus right now is my Moonglass band. I've got the band now called Moonglass, and we're a quartet, 4 parts harmonies and R&B, soul and jazz, Motown. But we're not gigging right now, unfortunately, but we hope to in the very near future. We all miss it terribly.
Yeah.
It's killing us.
I do see a question here from Mandy. Sorry, I was reading it real quick.
Great. That's awesome. Hi,
Mandy. Hey, Mandy. What's up in the house? she said, what is the most fun thing for you about being a voice actor?
Just doing those crazy voices. It's so fun. And then really getting cast as a character and really, really putting everything into it to make it really good. And in fact, when we record, and I don't know if that's some of the, as far as we do with the English dub and what we did back in the day from say 99 to 08, it was, technology there were computers and stuff obviously, but we were now it's crazy efficient. It can be all digital but there was the imaginary 3 beeps and then you do your line. And then what was cool is I personally, I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist, but I'm pretty hard on myself. I don't want to put anything out there that's not really good that I feel like is really good. And I won't take a job that I don't feel like I completely can do 100% and know it backwards and forwards. But I lost my train of thought. Where was I?
I would love to try to get you back.
That's the downside of being so distracted.
We were talking about what you love about being an actress, a voice actress, and all that.
Really getting it. Okay, yeah. So like you can try it, and then like if you don't get it the first time, and you're watching the screen and you're matching those mouth flaps, which by the way, singing and being into the rhythm and the beats and stuff really helps with those mouth flaps, like matching them and getting them really, really fine tuned. Because that's another craft. You have to be able to match the flaps and make sure that your line fits. And if not, the director might change the line or okay, a little shorter. And then what's cool is when you watch it the first time, you try it just for efficiency's sake, you might nail it. And if you don't, you just give them another one and they slide it into place. So, and that's what's fun for me is really encompassing these voices and making them sound completely and totally unique and really being able to master that and feeling like, okay, yeah, I did a good job. You know, I can be kind of hard on myself, but you know, you don't want to take a gig and not really do a good job at it. I mean, why would you do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
That for me, that's the fun is really, and coming up with new ones.
Right.
And mimicking what's on the TV now, like whether it be Robot Chicken or Crank Anchors or
do you find
sites, you know?
You find yourself doing that all the time? Like you're just like when you hear somebody on the TV, you're just like, oh, I bet I could sound just like that.
And if it's a fascinating, unique voice, even in person, like if I'm at the grocery store and the checker's like, so how's your day today? It's like really awesome, right? And like I'm like, you have a really cool voice. Like some people just have a really cool, unique kind of character voice already, right? And so, and that may be all they can do, and maybe they aren't even going to be in that industry. But I can hear those nuances of what is something unique that stands out, whether it not just be singing voices, but character voices, and like. That's a cool voice. Like if I did my own show and got behind the scenes, which would be so fun, and like produce people, which I have done a little bit with animation themes, which we can get into a little bit if we have time. But I can just hear, I don't know. I can hear when something is when I mimic something, when I know I'm mimicking it, and even I'm like, whoa, that sounds just like that. How did I do that? You know, and so when I know I'm capturing and encompassing all the nuances of a character voice and being able to deliver it, even just for fun around the house, like I said, it's like it gives you this sense of accomplishment. Like, how did I do that? Like Wanda Sykes, like, I just picked up my car from your lot. You know, it's like really not just the accent, but like the sound and the quality of it and where you have to go in your throat to achieve that sound. I don't know. It's
fascinating to me because I mean, like I said, I can't mimic anything at all. So it's fascinating to me that you can do so many different voices so well and just like nail them. It's like I just picture you getting your script for Dragon Ball and you're just like, okay, here I am. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna be Kid Goku now. I'm just gonna get in there, you know, and you're like, all right, I'm there. And then you just take off and you're totally that guy. You know what I mean?
I'm in the zone, man.
Yeah, you're in the zone. Exactly. Go ahead, man.
Early on, that's hard because you don't know because you might not come in for a while. Like it's not a normal job. You're not there every day. You're not there every week or sometimes not even there every month. Like it's based on your role. What's next in line with which episode, with which director. And then of course the company grew and more, properties were acquired. And then the whole company's crazy now. I'm not even working there anymore. It's like crazy. But so, yeah. So, so anyway, yeah. I get so like distracted. I'm looking around. I'm looking at my cute little
listen, dude, it's funny because it doesn't matter. I mean, you're holding people here. People are here hanging out. They're totally infatuated with you, dude. You're on point, man. I got another question.
Really great, yeah. But like I said, more learning the new voices. That's what I want to do. Like I listen, I still do it. Like I want to be good. I want to perfect this craft. I want to sound completely different.
You sound so crisp when you do the voices too. And I just have to tell you that Brandy just posted. She says, "Can you do your Donna Summer impersonation?"
Oh yeah. Well, it depends because. I mean, when I was seriously like 5, I'm not kidding. I had her Live and More album memorized, start to finish, 2 full albums. I had her banter. I knew what she was saying, like, hello, everybody. All right. It's a very, very special day today. Night tonight because Venus is out. You're out. I'm here. Anything can happen. It's a magical, mystical night. And did you know you're all on a live recording? Yeah. And she'd go into a song and I would put on concerts, seriously, on the merry-go-round. I was 5, you guys.
That's awesome, man.
Who does that, right? That's what I did. The teachers were cracking up, laughing, and I was 5, right, and 6 and 7 and whatever, and I was begging my parents, please take me to see Donna Summer in concert, and they're like, "You're 5, no, you're not going to an very adult disco era concert when you're 6, 7 years old. They're just not.
But you're like, I know her, man. I am totally.
I got my dream though.
Yeah, come on.
I saw her in concert, y'all. Seriously, I the second I found out she was coming to Starplex, it was 2007. I'm guessing. Might have been 2008. Anyway, she's sadly passed away. And let me tell you, you didn't even want to be around me when that happened, 2012. You would have thought seriously, like my whole family was murdered. I mean, I was devastated when she died. Like it came out of nowhere. I got the text and I'm like, no, this is a joke, right? No. So, but yeah, no, I had her albums memorized. I mean, she, I'm better at mimicking her when there's the music, like a karaoke track, or if like I'm singing with the track, I'm better at mimicking her doing that. But
oh no,
yeah.
You said it great, man. Like you were on point again. I'm just telling you.
Stop, baby, this evening.
That's so awesome. I love it.
Baby tonight. And she can sing anything too, Donna Summer.
Gosh,
she can sing gospel. I believe in Jesus. You don't know my soul well. I just love her voice. She can do that. She can sing. She wrote country music there for a while. She obviously got the disco, the R&B, the soul. Amazing. So what do you say? Underestimated, I think.
Underrated. She's underrated. Totally, yeah.
It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that they
to this day, and I'm like, how did she not have a jillion Grammys? I mean,
yeah,
she was the disco queen.
Yeah,
I mean,
she totally was.
She accomplished that role and fit it very well. She came out with that song "Last Dance" from that movie.
Oh God, that song was great. That's we had that on 8-track. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Oh, what? See,
I know. I'm saying, man. I'm saying.
We grew up around the same time.
Yeah,
almost the same age.
Yep.
I still thought for sure you were younger than me.
I love it when that happens. By the way, people can. I know people can always think I'm younger. I don't mind that at all. I got to point out. I've got a couple things here that we're gonna auction off. I don't think we're gonna auction them off tonight, but soon we're going to be auctioning off these items that Stephanie donated to Breast Cancer Can Stick It.
Oh, let me know if you need some more.
Yeah, so we've got a couple
of
some
new ones in the mail. I'm so excited.
Really cool stuff. Yeah, and we're going to have to get one of those masks for sure. But we've got a few of her autographed items here. Here, let me put you up on screen. Hang on. Do that again right now. Very cool. Yes.
Kamehameha! It's the Dragon Balls. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome, man. Stephanie, thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. I'm so excited to have you here. We had so many people hanging out with us this evening, and I want to.
We could go all night, girl.
We totally could. We totally could. And I want to remind everybody, if you're watching the replay, man, leave a comment. If you have a question for Stephanie, I'll be sure and tag her in it so she can check it out and she can swing back by. And be sure and check her out on Facebook, Stephanie Nadolny on Facebook. Just look her up. You can find out all the places she's going to be, the cool hangout that's happening coming up really soon. So be sure and check that out. And the next thing I'm going to play for everybody, Stephanie, was that tune that you and I did together back in 2011 with my friend, and we were the backup doo-wop girls, but you were the much more badass backup doo-wop girl. I was just kind of singing harmonies, and you were like, "Oh, the silver train." You're like all over. Awesome vocals. So I'm going to pop that out for everybody to check out right now. I'm going to put that on. And thank you so much, girl, for hanging out with us this evening, man. So
let's do it again in a year. Cool. Like anything and everything could happen in the next year. The sky is the limit, girl.
Absolutely, girl. I love you. Thank you so much for joining. And you have a great night. And let's do it again real soon, okay?
Kamehameha! Yeah!
Awesome. Take care, man.
Woohoo!
Got